Welcome all. This is the AML. This is the round robin part of the tournament. I am the Dr. Odd, giving you some coverage for what should be an exciting game between Mike Mohawk and BBoy. BBoy is going to be running his boros annoying stuff. Basically, it's a mixture of the taxing kind of cards and a few of those planeswalkers that'll hopefully take over the board once he's taxed his opponent into oblivion. Whereas Mike Mohawk, right? Yeah, that's his MTGO name. He's Michael Montano on our is running his Abzan Soul Sisters. So something we've seen a lot of success in the budget portion of our Amino challenges, and he's taken it into the modern no limits. So let's see what he comes up with here. He starts off kind of cute with a little Inquisition. Let's see what we get to see. All right. Oof. Oh yeah, he's got some annoying stuff here. He's going to be looking to drop this turn too. Hopefully prevent Mike from dropping any fetches. I should say cracking them, right? You could drop them but can't crack them. And then he's also got our Gideon of the Trials. Nice little 3-drop. This has been a great recent addition. A lot of people found it pretty fun. And he probably has a few other Gideons, like another copy of Gideon of the Trial. So he's trying not to lose the game. He's going to make that emblem and hopefully stick a Gideon and never let it leave the board. I do really like black with Soul Sisters. I know that it's not the norm necessarily, but with the Soul Sisters decks, a lot of times you can get just wiped and really pay the price for being so creature oriented. But with the addition of black, you could reap the hand a little bit and maybe see that they have a wipe that you can't quite grab, but you can slow roll them and play around it until you can rip it from them. Alright, so he's going right for the Squadron Hawk here, trying to get an early board presence. He reveals 3 more Hawks, so he's going to pull that up for you guys. So when he comes into play, you can search his library for up to 3 cards named Squadron Hawk, reveal them, put them into his hand. So he just goes for all 3. And there's that Arbiter we were talking about. A lot of people like doing some fun, janky stuff, like throw down the Ghost Quarters and pop the Ghost Quarters on their land, and then they can't pay for the fetch. It's pretty cute. Turns it into a nice little wasteland. Strip mine almost. Alright, let's see what we got here. Fatal Push. Yeah, he's getting rid of that. Doesn't want that lingering around. Can't blame him. And let's see what we get. And just a sister. Alright, he's saying get that out of there. Keeping that graveyard clean is important with the relic. You don't necessarily have to pop it. He's going to get in for 1. Well, let's show you what BBoy's doing here. Yeah, he can make the opponent exile a card from his graveyard. He only gets to choose the player, not the card. So if you can keep it down to 0, he has to exile the one that goes in the first time every turn. So it's beneficial for him to keep that up. Alright, so now he's going to put some options to Mike. Let's see. Okay, so he's prevented all damage from this Squadron Hawk here, so we'll see if he just drives the Soul Sister into Gideon to try to keep the ticks down. I don't foresee that really being an issue. He's probably going to have to deal with that Gideon in another way. Let's see if he decides to just drop another Hawk or if he's got another play. Alright, so he's going to throw down Honor of the Pure. All white creatures get +1/+1. Alright, so he's going to give +1/+1 to all his creatures. We said that the damage is all prevented from the Hawk by Gideon, and so he's going to just get in with the Soul Sister. And he's looking to get rid of that Gideon right away. Nice. Alright, so B-Boy's got a 4-mana play. He wanted that land untapped. Not looking to cash in the second Gideon just yet. Let's see if he drops another Planeswalker down. I know he has a few of them in here. And it's one of the things, these 3-mana Planeswalkers especially, they're surprisingly good. Oh, man. Johnny. Alright, so he drops down to Johnny. He's going to, target permanent doesn't untap during his controller's next untap step. So he's going to look to lock down one of those lands, and he's going to keep Mike on 1 mana if he can't draw another land. Oh, that's tough. Oh, alright, so he -1 the Johnny. -2, sorry. So he just dealt 3 damage to the Warden. And he's going to gain 3 life. Keep the board clean. Doesn't want to get hit next turn. Wants to keep his walkers on the board. Can't blame him. I would assume that means he has an answer for... let's see here. I would assume that means he has an answer for whatever creature is going to be dropped this turn. Let's see. Notable, we got rid of that Arbiter before because the land that he does get into play is a fetch. So that would have locked him down a little bit more. Mike still has 5 cards, now 4 in hand. So, yeah, Mike's running with a little bit of card advantage. We know those are Squadron Hawks for the most part. So it's not terribly pressing. Being in the air is fine, but B-Boy doesn't really look like he wants to drop creatures to block, so... well, as I say that. Alright, so he's going to let the Johnny Pride Mage ram into his Defender here. He's going to draw a card when the Defender comes into play. A lot of people have come to love this card. As you can see, it's in the Eternal Master set for a reason. Just that, you know, that stall power of the 0/4, it avoids Bolt, and it's get great blocker early on. Could sponge up those Goblin Guide attacks. Let's see. Alright, so we just +1s. So he's going to lock him off of black mana, hoping there's no removal. The Windswept Heath will allow him to fetch another one, though. He cracks the Relic, so he's looking to draw a card. Hopefully make the best of it. He doesn't really have any stake of anything in his graveyard, so he feels fine with it. So you can see it is pretty annoying. I mean, he's locking down creatures with his 1 Planeswalker. He's locking down lands with the other. I would expect him to pull out another white-black Planeswamp here. Let's see what he goes for. There she is. And bring her in tapped. You ain't doing nothing with it at the end of the turn. Alright. Mike still has some firepower here. Let's see if he can increase his board presence and kind of just swarm around B-Boy. B-Boy's definitely giving him a run, though, here with this lockdown. Alright, so he gets a Ghost Quarter of his own, Mike does. And he drops another Hawk. And let's see if he just passes here. Yeah, that Ghost Quarter, I'm not sure if he has any tricks up his sleeve for it, if he has his own arbiters or whatnot, but I don't foresee it really helping him out in this matchup necessarily. Oh, goodness. Anger of the Gods. Yeah, that's another annoying card. 3 damage to each creature. If they die, you exile them instead. Keeping that graveyard neat and tidy. Oh, and he's going in with the Gideon beats now. Yeah, B-Boy knows how to have fun, huh? Walls and wipes. And again, this is one of those things we were saying. This card's pretty good. It's in Eternal Masters for a reason. That 0/4 just avoids so much more than you would expect. Namely, things like this. Alright, we get another Hawk that we knew was lingering back there. Let's see if he has any other plays up his sleeve with those 2 cards. You can see the real advantage of this game is already shifted. They're about even on cards, and you can just see the presence that B-Boy's commanding here. Using the Sajani, he's gaining life off of it and keeping the board clean. He's playing this really well. And he's getting in for 4 with Gideon again. Let's see if we get a Path to Exile. There it is. There you go, Mike. Unfortunately, we know that B-Boy's got another one right behind it, so... Yeah. There he is. Gonna lock down a land. See if he cuts him off a green. Notably, Mike can use, if he does get cut off from green here by Gideon, Mike can Ghost Quarters one of his own lands. Oh, he just emblemed. Okay, so he has the open board right now, so he figured he would have just emblem. It's a cute play. So as long as there's Gideon on the board, he can't lose the game. I was hearing rumors, I didn't see in the articles yet, didn't have time to review, but they were saying that they're going to do away with the Planeswalker exclusivity rule that allows you to only have one Planeswalker with a given name, so that it would now just be treated like a legendary creature. So you'd be able to have multiple Gideons out as long as they're not the same. As long as the card itself doesn't have the same exact name. So even though you have a Gideon of the Trials, if you drop another Gideon later on, you'd be able to, like the Paragon one or whatever, you'd be able to keep them both on the board, which makes this much more powerful. Alright, he drops 2 spirits here, off of probably the main reason he's playing black. Lingering Souls. And it looks like, B-Boy was pretty heads up with that. Didn't let him get the double use out of Lingering Souls that gives it so much value. He popped his Relic in response so that he didn't have a chance to cast the second one. Should have had priority, though. Must have just played the Hawk and then the Souls. Right? Oh, no. He gave him priority. Yeah. Such is life. Alright, where are we at here? So we're waiting on B-Boy. There we are. Inspiring Vantage. This is one of these nice new lines that come in untapped if you control 2 or fewer. Completing an old cycle, I believe. Alright, let's see what Mike's got here. So he's going 2-2. He's looking to hopefully kill the Ajani, and then chip away at this Gideon. Let's see if BBoy has a response. He does have 2 cards in hand and a ton of open mana, so. And it goes through, so he loses that Ajani, which was doing a lot of work for him. Okay. That's interesting. I guess he wanted to end step him so that he didn't leave mana open. Comes in tapped, so I don't really know. It's a weird one. I would have protected that Ajani. Unless he has something that names cards. Oof. See if we get a -2 here. Could lock him down a little bit. That didn't take much. So we get the -2. Oh, that's why he didn't mind. Oof. What an angry, angry man, dropping another Ajani. Clean the board, coming in for 4. Oh, gosh. This deck is pretty cruel. Oh, man, Nihiri's so powerful, too. So it comes in, and it could exile an enchantment, or a tapped artifact, or a tapped creature. The +2 is just brilliant. You get to, if you could discard a card, and if you do, you may draw. You don't necessarily have to draw. I would assume you would, but you don't necessarily have to. And you may discard. So that means if you don't want to discard, but you still want to tick her up, you can go along that route as well. And then the ultimate here, the -8, is brilliant. I mean, people use it all the time to cheat in Emrakuls and things like that. But you search your library for an artifact or creature card, and you can put it right onto the battlefield. Shuffle your library. It gains haste, and then you return it back to your hand. So you don't even lose it. It goes back to your hand, which is really not that bad. Yeah, she's definitely found her home in Modern, I think. Plenty of decks. There we go. There's the concession. So, yeah. Mike was lingering around. It looked like he might get here, might get there, but I think he needs something to handle these planeswalkers and force through some damage. I don't think that casting 2-mana creatures is going to do it for him. You know, that Lingering Souls was pretty big. I think if he can get a Lingering Souls onto the board with popping both sides in the same turn, that's going to be huge. You know, assuming he could get them out of anger range. But for a main board game, one there, BBoy looked like he was packing a lot of hate for this deck, so this is a pretty good matchup for him. I think BBoy built this deck strongly considering these fair matchups that are looking to grind out wins with just like value creatures and you know, making them stronger than they're paid for. So I'm pretty sure this is in the wheelhouse of exactly what he wanted to face. And so Mike's got a pretty big task in front of him. You know, he may have some of the anti-planeswalker spells, considering he's black. You know, he could bring in like Hero's Downfall or something like that. So there are a lot of options. And you can see the way that BBoy's deck is constructed. He's got a nice curve to it. He's right on the board here. He's got a 2-mana creature, 3-mana Gideon, a 4-mana Nihiri, another 4-mana Ajani, and I believe the Nihiri. So, you know, it's pretty hard to get him with things that are going to attack a converted mana cost or something like that. This is Johnny did a lot of work that game. Both abilities here really. He never got to ultimate one, but both abilities really took over. Got a little. Let's see. Why is that? Okay, decided to stay up. Let's pop out of here. Boot right back in. There we are. Alright, so Mike has his Sarah's Ascended down. This thing can get out of hand pretty quick if he gets this Soul's Attendant online. We didn't really get to see it do any work last game, mainly because of how strong BBoy was able to control the board, and it looked like Mike really didn't draw into a lot of sisters there. I think we only saw the one come make its way through, so if he's got a couple of sisters here, this is going to get pretty exciting pretty quick, hopefully. Let's see if BBoy brought in anything like the Pyroclasms or anything like that. Alright, he's throwing up his walls. Drawing a card. Mike's like, yeah, I don't mind that. Go ahead, I'm going to gain some life. BBoy's probably wondering where I went. Just cleaning up the screen, bud. Alright. They're saying they gotta suspend the game. Alright, so we'll clean this up for you, and then we'll come back and finish it up later.